Yo, what is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Golden State Warrior Fan Room podcast. And as you can see by the title today, we will be recapping the first week. I'm going to be giving my takeaways, things that I saw for the Golden State Warriors in this past week. But before we dive into any topics or anything, if you're new, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications on so we don't miss any more of this great content moving forward. And yeah, anybody that's been tapping in since day one, I appreciate it. And we're going to keep rocking and growing in this media space. So yeah, with that being said, let's dive right into it. Before I dive into any topics, games, or whatever, chat, I have to point this out. Can someone explain to me why the Golden State Warriors are the only team in the NBA, make sure I got this right, with two back-to-backs in the first 8 days of the season? Mind you, this team, it ain't no secret. It's a very older veteran team. Al Horford, 39. Draymond Green, 35. Steph Curry, 37, I want to say. Gonna be 38 in March. Jimmy, 36. So you get the memo here. Don't get me wrong, we have some youth, some young guys on the team, but for the most part, like the guys, the main guys, they're up in age. They're all over 33, all over the age of 33. So, in saying that, I feel like the NBA knew what they was doing when they made the schedule in there. But it ain't no secret, though, because last season, I know for sure, we was top three in like the most back-to-backs in the season, and the year before that, like top five for sure. So, in saying that, man, definitely sucks, but we just had another one. We just had one against Portland last week, that last game, and now this upcoming week we got another. We got Memphis on Monday and the Clippers on Tuesday, both at home. Our first one we played Thursday, the Nuggets. That was a very intense competitive game, and then we had to follow that matchup up playing the young, energized Portland Trailblazers. And I just alluded to this upcoming week we got the Grizzlies on Monday and then Tuesday the Clippers. So you get the memo here. That's insane to have all those back to backs in the first 8 days of the season. But honestly, though, I wouldn't want no different route. Like we're the Warriors, we're built for this, and nothing has ever came easy for us. Some would say otherwise, but I don't see it. But anyway, though, like none of this is no excuse, but it matters in the sense like you can see it in the guys' legs, the like careless turnovers we're throwing out there. The defensive energy at all looked different on Friday against the Trailblazers, and they ended up beating us, and rightfully so. But even with that, though, the Golden State Warriors showed me a lot in this first week. You know, the leadership, the toughness, the flashes of what this roster can really be when guys are getting used to playing alongside each other and getting, acclimated, building that chemistry for sure. But with all that being said, man, let's recap game one opening night against the Los Angeles Lakers. Final score 119 to 109. We win. The first thing that caught my attention was Jimmy Butler. Like, he set the tone from the tip. He finished the game overall 31 points and 16 to 16 from the free throw line. He was vocal, he was playing physical out there. He played like a captain for sure. Although he referred to himself as being Robin, but he definitely played like Batman. And you love to see that from a guy like Jimmy, who's really not known for being aggressive in the regular season, but he showed up and showed out. And you love to see that from your one of your leaders just setting that tone, and the other guys are definitely tend to follow his lead, and they did, and they responded in great fashion. But shout out to Jimmy for just going out there and letting guys know like, hey, I may call myself Robin, but I did lead the Miami Heat to the finals not once but twice during my tenure with them, and yeah, he was definitely balling for sure. And I alluded to how the other guys follow suit. Talking about like a guy like Jonathan Kuminga. He finished the game with 17 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists. Man, it's so much I could point out what stood out to me from him and his play, but I'm gonna just sum it all up. It was just the maturity. Like he was making the right reads, playing within the floor of the offense. Even though he was struggling early on, he started off pretty cold from the field. He finished the game strong though. Like I said, he finished with 9 rebounds and 6 assists. Like it all came together. He was defending. He defended Luca, although Luca did finish the game with I think it was 41 points. He couldn't have done a better job in guarding Luca. Like he had to earn all 41. Nothing came easy, and he was disciplined while doing so. So you have to give a guy that credit when they do things like that. And Jonathan Kuminga was very, very huge. Just doing the little things such as he got a big offensive rebound in the fourth quarter over Aiden. That was huge. Just making the right reads, just being engaged and locked in And as a Warriors fan, that's what you love to see from a guy like Kuminga. Like you know the talent he can be in this league, and it's all starting to come together. And after the game was over, Steve Kerr did mention how Jimmy Butler been kind of taking Kuminga under his wing, and then Jimmy Butler like verified that he's been taking him under his wing, watching film together, just trying to make the game come easy to Kuminga. And in that game one, you could definitely see he's starting to understand that a little bit more now. And you just love to see it as a fan, like just seeing Jimmy take JK on his wing, because they do have a lot of similarities in a sense, like a young Jimmy Butler and a young JK. Not defensively, I say, because Jimmy was built different defensively, but all the other things, athletic, can get down here, get to the ring, get to the free throw line, and just some dogs for sure. So, uh, shout out to Jimmy for just being a vet, taking a young fella on his wing, and it definitely paid off for sure. You can definitely see a different version of Jonathan Kuminga, just locked in. The third quarter, he came in firing on all cylinders. And I will point somebody that I love that I seen from him. It was the first quarter. He took specifically, I know one ill-advised jump shot, a very, very questionable jumper, and he immediately threw his finger up like, hey, that's on me. Those are the type of things you like to see as a fan, just the maturity and all. And even though he was struggling offensively, he was still doing the other things that translate to winning, such as rebound and playmaking, like I alluded to earlier. But nah, man, nonetheless, shout out to JK. And it was a huge performance for him in game one. And speaking of one of Jimmy Butler's favorite teammates, I was saying Buddy Hill, man, Buddy Love, Buddy Buckets came into the game firing on all cylinders, 17 points with five threes, instant offers off the bench, and they all did it in 17 minutes. Man, that's the scary part about this team. Like when you got Jimmy, being aggressive, Kuminga playing within the floor, the offense not forcing the issue. Then you got a guy like Buddy Hill coming off the bench, catching fire, and I haven't even gotten to Steph yet, or Pods, or Moody, or Draymond. Like none of those guys yet. Just those three. That's a scary sight for the rest of the league. But yeah, man, Buddy came off the bench and just did what he do best. Real dead sniper, shooting it from deep. He came in, his impact was definitely felt for sure. And the rookie man, Will Richards. So far, what I've seen from Will Richards, and I get into their games, but it all can sum it all up. So far, what I've seen from Will, man, is just like the stats may not be eye popping, but he's one of those players where you have to actually watch the game to see the type of impact he has, and that's in a good way. Like he just know how to cut at the right time, the right spacing, playing within the system. Like he plays like a vet, and he's a rookie. And you start to question like this dude was really the 56 pick in this year's draft because the way he plays, man, he just plays so wise. He's very mature for his age. And in that game, man, I love what I seen from him. And yeah, man. So shout out to the Rook. Definitely been impressed with what I seen. And with Draymond, though, man, simple as this, he quarterbacked the whole floor, led the communication of defense and orchestrating that offense. He was huge, just making it all work. Simple as that. And then Steph Curry, man, my dog, 23 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, hit the deep night dagger to close the game. Wasn't really aggressive, but didn't need to be. Like Jimmy was setting the tone. Like they had poor Gabe Vincent out there guarding Jimmy Butler. That's just so insane. He was cooking them too. He was cooking everybody through his way. They couldn't stop fouling him. Yeah, but with Steph though, he just had a pretty chill night. 23 points, like I said, and he hit the deep night three to pretty much put this thing to end. But main takeaway though, very balanced team win. Jimmy leadership, JK growth, but he a spark off the bench. Steph pretty much steadying things, and the chemistry was already showing. And nonetheless, it led to a big win over the Los Angeles Lakers. No LeBron in that matchup, but we still went on the road and had them beaten. So shout out to those guys. Game two though, man. Warriors versus the Denver Nuggets. Chat, man, what a game! Did not disappoint. Final score 137 to 131. We win. Aaron Gordon, though. I'm not even gonna talk about the Warriors. Aaron Gordon, hometown kid, came into the town and did not disappoint. Hit his first 7 threes. Overall, finished the game with 50 points and 10 of 11 from 3-point range. Overall, 17 and 21 from the field. It was like a magnetic ball. He just could not miss. And you would think like if you didn't know no better, you would say, "Man, this is a fluke. This is so fake." But that was very much so real. Like Aaron Gordon has become one of my favorite role players in this league today. Like the work he's putting on his jumper to be exact, like he's just become a real deal sniper. And when you look at a guy like that, you can't do nothing but have number of respect for that. Because there's so many guys in the league today that get the bag and they just forget how to work on their game or just find like different areas to improve. But a guy like Aaron Gordon has been putting in that work in the show. So shout out to him. Definitely put on a heck of a performance against us. And he could very much so be on his way to becoming a first time All Star this year. Because you talk like his transition over to Denver, he's improved in just about everything. Playmaking, for sure, defending, just bringing that physicality. Because when he was down in Orlando, he was not doing that. But now he's just a totally different player. And it showed this past Thursday night against my Warriors. And Jokic, man, quiet but complete. Finished the game with a 21-point triple double. He finished the game with 21 points, 13 to 10. Did not shoot the best from the field. He very much so struggled from 3 point range to be exact. And if as us as Warriors fan, you can't do nothing but live with that. Like if Jokic's going to be shooting the ball a lot, hey, that works in our favor to say the least, because he can easily just go down low, post up, and just make us like send a double. But he pretty much settled the whole night, and it was their first game in the season. But hey, as a Warriors fan, I take that. But our response though, man, we trailed early, but we stayed posed. Like her tight rotation, smarter switching, better contest. We held Denver to only 24 points in the third quarter, so that's a huge win. But Steph Curry, he took over from I say 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter all the way to overtime. I scored the entire Denver Nuggets team. I finished the game overall 41 points, 14 and 25 from the field, 6 to 12 from 3 point range, and 8 to 8 from the free throw line. That's vintage Steph Curry right there. Like deep pull up in the shimmy moment. That was amazing. Just coming off that stream that Draymond set for him on Murray. Jokic didn't really want to commit, come up too high, and Steph Curry made him pay. Steph Curry is the only person in the league that can make a shot like that, by the way, Chad. So that was amazing to see. And then Jimmy Buckets, man, when we got into the overtime, he drilled a massive three at the top of the key. Shout out to Al Horford for even making that read. Yeah, it was high IQ basketball for sure. And then hopefully the corner three earlier that even set that up to where Jokic had to come out a little bit harder and close out, which led Horford to drive past Jokic and make that play at top of the key. So the close lineup though was Steph, Dre, Jimmy, Horford, JK, which is a plus 10 in 8 minutes. Keep in mind, no practice reps together, but this is built on pure IQ and the trust that they have in one another. This lineup has not played with each other. Like I said, no practice reps so far in the season. That was the first time, my second game, we seen that lineup. But I want to point something else out. The defensive impact of Al Horford. Like most, not Warriors fans, like most NBA fans, when we signed Al Horford, it was like, we was cooked. He's older now. He's about to be 40 in June. Like, what else could he bring to this team? And I was like, man, Al Horford can bring a lot to this team. It's not like we asked him to be like this all-star or, come score 10, 15 points. We just asking Al to be like this steady vet, bring that veteran presence, knock down shots, stretch big, their defensive IQ, playmaking. A simple role. We're not going to overplay him. Things of that nature going to be all sweet and simple. But uh, his defensive impact in this game, he held the Joker to 3 from 3. He held Jokic to shoot 3 for 12 from the field as a primary defender. To be more exact, 1 for 7 in the fourth quarter in overtime. That is impressive when you look at Al Horford age to still be able to defend the best center in the league and to hold him to shoot that bad from the field. Now granted, I give a little grace. This was the Nuggets' first game of the season, so it's like you can take some things away, but at the same time you can't chat because you know they still gotta get their feet wet. And they responded in great fashion. I think they just beat the Suns the other night in that second game, so it is what it is. But when you have a guy like Horford out there, though, bro, it's so important because he's so smart. We benefit the most because it allows Draymond to be like that roamer, like playing free safety, and that's when Draymond is at his best, just disrupting the offense that way, not just being the guy guarding like the best player like Jokic, in the post like that, just being that roamer because he's so smart and intelligent. He know how to read different things or whatever. So it allowed Dre to like guard guys, smaller matches like Murray. And if you seen like at the end, Draymond was guarding Murray, and then Jokic came set the screen. He switched on to Jokic and got the stop to even. I think it was that forced overtime. So yeah, but it's what you love to see. Like Kaminga's active. He was locked in, talking on D. Jimmy influence is definitely showing in that department. So like I said, shout out to Jimmy. And those threes were sexy, but the defense really won this game to say the least. Shout out to old man Al Horford. They say he was washing the sins, but nah, the way we're going to utilize Al Horford, bro, is all about getting to the playoffs. Nothing else. Just willing this team, spot minutes here and there. We're not looking to get too much out of him in the regular season. Just willing our way to the postseason. A guy like Al Horford value really show. So yeah, takeaway though, man, playoff type of win, toughness, trust, execution, like Warriors move to 2-0. And then the final game of this past weekend, game three versus the Portland Trailblazers. Final score 124 to 103 loss. Man, second night of a back-to-back legs look heavy from the tip to say the least. First half, Jeremy Grant had 17. Denny Ogba had 20 points and four threes. Torched our defense, and like I said, you can kind of tell that the legs look heavy, fatigue started to kick in. Second night of a back-to-back. Portland shot 52% from deep. Warriors had 11 turnovers by half. And that kind of says it all. Like it was, we couldn't stop turning the ball over, and they could not stop missing. That's just a bad mix. So you get the memo there. Steph Curry had 24 points at half. He kept us afloat, but the support was not good. Second half, we had 21 turnover total. The offense stalled, defense late. Steve Curry ended up pulling the starters with 8 minutes left. We was down 19. So defensively though, point of attack coverage was definitely poor. We gave up a lot of layups. Guys were blowing by the defender, late switches, miscommunication. But I have to give Portland a lot of love here. This is a very young athletic team. They can get up and down the court with ease. They got some wing defenders over there, such as Kamara. He just got paid. Shout out to him. Matisse Thybulle, he's back in the mix. They got a veteran, one of the best defenders to ever play this game to learn from, and Drew Holiday. He's still over there, pretty solid. Scoot Henderson did not play in this matchup, but when he do play, he can kind of put it all together and see what they can be. Shaden Sharp, athletic. Donovan Clingan, solid big. Jeremy Grant, veteran, they can learn from him. Dame Dollar is sideline right now, but those young guys could definitely learn from him, such as Sharp, Scoot, Danny, all those guys. They look very, very good. Even Chris Murray was pretty solid in this matchup. So had to kind of put the spotlight on the young Trailblazers team. But the bright spot though, Moses Moody made his season debut in this matchup. He rusted, but he can definitely boost the point of attack defense, specifically moving forward. It's gonna take a little time for him to get his feet wet, but it's all a process and it can definitely happen. The main takeaway though, we was fatigued and turnovers cost us. No panic, but those areas must indeed tighten up, chat. So overall, we finished the week 2-1. Not bad to open the week up, to say the least. So shout out to the Doves for making it happen. And I said like every week as I do the pod, I'm gonna do a player of the week. And this week's player of the week is Steph Curry. No better pick in my opinion. He finished the week averaging over 33 points per game on 50, 40, 100 splits. It's pretty impressive for a 37-year-old. Outscored their tight Nuggets team in crunch time, controlled the offense, set the tone every night. He's still that dude and is hooping at the MVP level. So I'm saying that definitely gives you hope. That's why I would never rule out a team led by Steph Curry to potentially win a championship. We just can't because he's just that good. So yeah, though, as we get ready to close this thing out or recapping the first week, here's a few of my closing thoughts. Closing thoughts like Jimmy leadership plus his toughness, Kuminga's growth, his composure, Buddy's confidence and shooting spark, Horford and Jimmy bringing that defensive versatility. Once the turnovers and point of attack defense are cleaned up and Moses is back healthy, this team ceiling is very, very scary. Also, Anthony Melton, like once he comes back getting acclimated, you've seen the impact that he had with the team last season. Just imagine, we're better now. We got Jimmy with us playing the full season, got Al Horford, Kaminga's taking the leap. So just imagine you get a guy like D'Anthony Melton in that mix. A very, very good point of attack defender, can do a multitude of things, shoot, can create for himself as well as others. So it's just all making sense, just putting it all together. But yeah, man, like if this is what week one looked like imagine what when they really click, what it'll look like. Like it could be a scary sight for sure. But now, honestly, I consider week one a success. You know, it's growing pains. You still gotta learn things, but I consider it a success at least. So yeah, it couldn't get no better than that. Like, you know, obviously you hate as a fan, you hate to see a team lose, but you gotta outweigh the bad with the good, and that's what we're gonna do here, Chad. So hey, but anywho, previewing this upcoming week. So we have the Grizzlies on Monday, Clippers on Tuesday, the Bucks on Thursday, and Indiana on Saturday. So against Memphis, they're going to rest Al Horford, and I like that. Good test for small ball lineups and discipline on the boards. No Zach Edey for them, so we can get Jaren Jackson Jr. in foul trouble early. I like high chances. Although they got a rookie over there, Colin Coward, I think that's how you say his name. He's been balling, so you have to definitely watch out for him. He can get hot at any moment. They still got Ja doing his thing over there. So in saying that, I don't see why we can't win this matchup. We're gonna be at home too, so we gotta lock in early and go out there and handle business. It's gonna be a good matchup for sure. Then the Clippers on Tuesday. Horford will be back. Steve Kerr made a smart business decision. He rested Al Horford so he can pretty much utilize him against a more scoring-minded big and Zubac, and it gives him more size to throw at the Clippers over there. So Horford will be back. It's gonna be a physical matchup. They got Harden over there. He's been looking solid so far in the season. Kawhi, all those guys, Chris Paul, Collins. So it's gonna be a good matchup. But I don't see why we don't win that matchup neither, though. We have the personnel to match with those guys, whether it be big or small. So I definitely see us getting the dub on that. It's gonna be a good game, and it may come down to the wire. Cause Bradley Beal may catch a heater, and you gonna be like, man, I definitely had it on my checklist, but you gotta be prepared for the unexpected. So in saying that, I can see us going out there and handling business now. Thursday against the Bucks. This would be our first matchup against the Eastern Conference team this season. So yeah, man, Giannis been doing his thing, but you kind of know what he's going to bring. If I'm the Warriors, I'm literally like all my attention will be on him, nobody else. If KPJ scored 50, Kyle Kuzma, you get the memo. I'm living with that. We just can't allow him to get going. So I'm saying that we got to send the double, send the blitz, get the ball out of his hand and make the other stinking play. And yeah, we speed up the tempo for sure, and just have those guys thinking over there for sure. So it's saying that I definitely see us winning that matchup. I don't see why we don't. Um, he got Miles Turner over there, so we kind of see how him and Draymond match up, or him and Al Horford, depending on where we go, big or small, however you want to look at it. But it should be an entertaining matchup for sure. And then last but not least, our second Eastern Conference matchup, we got the Indiana Pacers, a fast-paced young team to close the week. Factor may the factor fatigue may kick in. The fatigue factor may kick in again, but we built for this. This is where you have to kind of lean more so into the young guys. Give Kuminga that irrational confidence. Be like, hey man, you can lead us. Moses, Pods, Will Richards, Guy Santos, Trace, Quinn Post. The vets can do their thing, but lean into those guys because the Pacers they like to get up and down the court. No Halliburton in this matchup, but everybody else is pretty much healthy. Nimhard, Neesmith, Obi, Pascal, Matherin. He's playing for a contract, so he's going to definitely looking to be aggressive. Aggressive. So, in saying that, it should be a good matchup, man, for sure. Honestly, I don't see how we don't go 4-0. I don't. Like, it's just a matter of just getting that cohesiveness, that level of togetherness, and just making it all work. So, yeah, I say at best 4-0. At worst, at worst, I'm going to go 3-1. Because I don't see, yeah, I'm going to say 3-1. Because I have a lot of confidence in this team. I just love what I've been seeing from them in these first three games. So, yeah, it's gonna be a fun upcoming week. Check when I air this. Make sure you guys like the video, comment something positive as always. Show the love, spread the love. Subscribe if you haven't already, and let's see. Comment, better yet, I got comment who you think will be next week's pod player of the week when I recap it. So at the end of this week, the four matchup against the Grizzlies, the Clippers, the Bucks, and the Pacers. Who do you think would be my player of the week? Or you can comment your player of the week. Just, come up with something and I'll respond to it. But make sure you guys subscribe, like I said, if you haven't already. And yeah, remember, every possession indeed tells a story. And that is it, chat, on the Ghost State Warrior Fan Room Podcast. Appreciate everybody tapped in. Like the video, comment. With that being said, we'll see you guys next week.